Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on animal kingdom. We have discussed till eschelminthes or nemehelminths. In this video we'll start with annelids. I'll be explaining the general characteristics in this video, and in our next video we'll discuss, or we will take up the examples of annelids. That is, we'll start with earthworm first. So starting up with the video, general characteristics. I've already written the characters which are similar from our previous phylums, that is, they are triploblastic and bilateral symmetry, which will be there till the next phylums. Plus there is an additional feature here. Last roundworms, they were pseudo-coelomate. Herein, in case of annelids, they are coelomate. They have a body cavity lined with mesoderm. That's why they are known as coelomates. Now annelids, they show a very important characteristics that is known as metameric segmentation. So this is an important characteristic here, that the annelids, they show metameric segmentation. Now what is metameric segmentation? Metameric segmentation is wherein the body is divided into multiple, I'll just write it down. Body is divided into segments. Fine. And these segments, these segments are called as, I'll write in bracket, metamers or annuli also. They are called as metamers and are visible. They are visible from outside. From outside, in some cases they are outside and inside as well. Pura ka pura segmentation is there, but herein the common feature is that they are visible from outside. They are known as metamers. So this is a significant feature of annelids. If you see the structure of an earthworm, you can see that there are segments present on the body. So that is metameric segmentation, which is a significant feature of annelids. Then they show metameric segmentation, plus they are triploblastic, they are bilaterally symmetrical, they are coelomates, and they show proper organ system formation. Organ systems developed. Fine, we will discuss about the different organ systems stepwise. We'll start with the first type, or you can say we'll start with the skin first, the outer covering. So the first, I'll write it with a different color. Skin, first of all. Skin. First of all, the basic characteristics of the skin. The skin is brown, or you can say the skin is brownish. Now why is it brownish? Due to the presence of porphyrin pigment. The skin has that brownish color, and also the skin is moist because it is going to undergo cutaneous respiration, wherein it takes in oxygen through skin. The skin should be moist. So the skin is brownish in color due to porphyrin, and it's moist. Now talking about the next system, we'll talk about the layers of the skin also. So there are 3 layers. As there were 3 layers in roundworms, here also there are 3 layers, and similar 3 layers. Cuticle, the outermost, middle layer is epidermis, and the inner layer or the innermost layer is known as muscular layer. Fine. Now cuticle here has collagen fibers in it. Collagen fibers present in it. Then is the epidermis layer, and muscular layer. In roundworms, we have done that there are only longitudinal muscles present, but herein they have longitudinal and circular muscles. Both the type of muscles present in the body. So the skin is divided into 3 layers: cuticle, epidermis, and muscular layer. And these are the main, this is important. Cuticle carries which fibers, what is the composition? That is, they mainly carry collagen fibers. And what are the 2 types of muscular tissues present in annelids? Longitudinal and circular muscles are present. Then coming up to the next system, the digestive system. The second one is the digestive system. Now the digestive system is tube, shows tube within tube. It is tube within tube and is a complete digestive system. It has mouth and anus both present. Complete digestive system. I'll just make this structure. It has mouth, and but these we have already discussed in our previous videos. If you want to, you can go through the starting of the video of Animal Kingdom. Start from the playlist video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all in a sequence, so it will be easy for you to learn. So it shows tube within tube plan. That means a tube with an outer wall, whereas the system is digestive system is complete with a mouth and an anus, both the openings present here. The next system we are going to talk about is the excretory, or first of all the respiratory system. Respiratory system. Now the respiratory system, or the respiration in case of annelids, is cutaneous respiration. That is respiration from or by skin. That is why the skin is moist, and in some of the examples there are certain specific features also, but commonly it is cutaneous respiration. Next type, or the next system, is excretory system. Now excretion in case of annelids takes place from nephridia. Now these are the structures, but first of all they excrete out the waste, which can be both the types. I'll just write here. They can be ammoniotelic and they can be urotelic also. How? Ammoniotelic will be the ones which are found in muddy areas or where the water is there, and urotelic will be the one which have terrestrial habitat. And the organ which is used for excretion is nephridia. There are 3 types of nephridia. They are integumentary nephridia, pharyngeal nephridia, and septal nephridia. Septal, integumentary, and the last one is pharyngeal nephridia. Fine. So the name itself suggests septal are the ones which are found at the septa, the metameric segmentation, the one segment formed, septa. And integumentary would be the ones which are found beneath the skin, and pharyngeal would be the one which is found in the pharynx region in the annelids. So these are the mode of excretion. Very important question. Name the excretory organ present in annelids. Answer is nephridia. Then we have the next system, that is the nervous system. The nervous system is not that developed. It's not completely developed, but still if you see the structure, so in the head region, the cephalic region, there are these ganglia present which are joined by this. They have this a kind of nervous system. These are the ganglia, and this is a ring-like structure which is formed. So this is known as the nerve ring. It's known as circumpharyngeal nerve ring, which leads into a nerve cord. Fine. This is the type of a nervous system it has. So it has a nerve ring, circumpharyngeal nerve ring, which leads into a nerve cord. Then the next type of system, the next system which we have is reproductive system. Now reproductive system, herein they are basically, they can be unisexual and also hermaphrodite. So some can be unisexual, for example Nereis, and can be hermaphrodite, for example earthworm and leeches. Fine. So earthworm and leeches would come under hermaphrodite and unisexual. They are hermaphrodite, but they prefer cross fertilization. I'll write here, important pointer. Even if are hermaphrodite, they prefer cross fertilization, and for this cross fertilization to occur, they have a significant feature that they are protandrous. They are protandrous, that is the male part it matures first and the female part matures later, which helps them to undergo cross fertilization. Then is the last type, that is the development which takes place. Development in case of annelids can be both. It can be direct development, direct wherein no larva is formed, example earthworm, whereas it can be indirect where larva is formed, example Nereis. Now the larva in case of Nereis is Trachophore larva. We'll be discussing it when we'll take example of Nereis. So that is the larval stage. So these are the characteristics of annelids. I've explained them in detail. You can note down for your notes, and I've explained the various important pointers as well. In our next video, we'll start with the example, the first example of annelids, that is the earthworm. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.